Okay. I think you could go, Quinn. I think you could go.
Okay. All right. So everybody, welcome to the Q&A. Hope you guys enjoy yourselves and enjoy the questions that we ask. To start it off, we have a very serious, very widely requested question. A lot of people sent this one in. It would be really important to us if you could answer, is Joywave music?
Is Joywave music?
Yes.
Well, I think the probably yes. It probably depends on the day. Sometimes it's a comedy troupe. Sometimes it's a traveling team. Sometimes it's a group of people who discuss Marvel films. It just depends on the day. But I would say Joywave is mostly music. I'm curious if Paul or Joey have feelings on that.
Has anyone ever heard the Chumbawamba song called Pickle?
Yes.
What?
That sounds familiar.
It's a Q&A.
Those are the right answers. Yes with a question mark and what?
Yeah. No, it's a great deep cut Chumbawamba song that the lyrics pertain to this question beautifully. Because sometimes things aren't music; they're just pickles.
Yep.
Wait,
Funniest shit I've ever heard.
Yeah, it's a whole song about I think the lyrics are that's not music, that's a pickle, and it's a very beautiful song.
When are we getting the Joywave cover?
We've lightly considered some type of Chumbawamba tribute at some point, but haven't done it yet.
Y'all should just say fuck it and become a Chumbawamba tribute band.
Yeah, you should.
We're very close. Partway through the pandemic, we strongly considered that.
Alrighty. I guess if you're ready for the next question, this one might take you guys back a bit. But will there ever be a proper release of the work you guys did for the In Bloom soundtrack?
No, there won't be. Man, that's going way back. That was a film that, like, if anyone has the vinyl version of How Do You Feel, the EP, if you look in the credits, there's a credit for someone named Kyle Wygant as Coffee.
Yeah, I remember.
And he was an actor in the film In Bloom, and he connected me with the director, and I did a score for the movie, which exists and is out. I don't know where you can see it, but it was like a very independent film. And then post that, Kyle had a job in a coffee shop while we were recording that first record, and I think he gave us hundreds of dollars of coffee over the 6 months we were making How Do You Feel Now.
All right.
Well, next question. So was there a reason behind changing the lyric in Golden State from I Miss You Babe to I Miss You Hey?
Yeah, I just thought it was dumb. I think like a year went by between maybe the demo version of it and what went on Coda Vista. So I just had a lot of time to sit with it, and I'm not ruling out using the word babe in the future. I'll probably use it hundreds of times. The whole record next time we'll probably just have babe in every song, but
every song just named Babe.
What was that?
Every song just named Babe.
It could be
about the pig though.
Yes,
it's a new Swish.
It's a big record. But yeah, there was like a year between that, and I just like sat with the song and decided to change it. I don't know if that's a good change. Like, I think Babe probably makes more sense in hindsight, but in 2011 I was like, I don't know.
What was the image or inspiration of virus.exe?
The image of it?
Or inspiration?
The inspiration. So the title of it, I remember it didn't have a name, and then I really just thought it was funny since it was part of the mixtape that was available as a free download, and a lot of people were using Windows at that time, or I guess I still was using Windows. I thought it'd be funny for people to unzip a file and be unsure if they should double click the one labeled virus.exe. The song itself, like a lot of those songs on 77777, the ones that aren't like obvious samples, are just kind of like demos that we had floating around. Like they weren't created specifically for that project. Like I think we pulled together that mixtape in less than 3 weeks, maybe 2, because obviously there's a lot of samples on there, but then the other things were like, okay, well, we put out Traveling and it didn't seem like anyone cared about it, no one's heard of it, like let's put it in with this other body of work and see what happens. And some people noticed it then, and a song like virus.exe, where it was just kind of a demo that we had floating around that we decided to include it there.
What are you guys' like go-to McDonald's orders?
I fucking love McDonald's. It's not even food, but I love it. It's like sits in your stomach for like a whole half-life, but man, I love it. I get 2 double cheeseburgers and a medium fry, and then I open the cheeseburgers and put the fries on top and then close it with the bun.
I go McChicken with cheese and mac sauce. Hold the mayo.
Man, I eat it so infrequently now, and I used to love it when I was younger. I think just like a hamburger, like the most basic one, because I'm lactose intolerant, and like a small fry. So I give McDonald's the least amount of money possible. But I think, I mean, there was a time when we loved it so much. I mean, me and Paul would go drive through there, and I remember Paul would always ask for a double cheeseburger with only ketchup, but he couldn't drive yet. So me and our other friend would be in the car and scream scream into the intercom, like, we want a cheeseburger with only ketchup, but like so much ketchup, just blood everywhere, a murder burger. And they'd be and Paul would be screaming like, no, just regular ketchup, and they couldn't hear him in the background, and it would show up every time, and he'd unwrap it, and it was just ketchup everywhere. I'm sorry, Paul, that was really mean. Like your burger was ruined every time.
I mean, I like ketchup. That was like choke on it ketchup, you know. I remember scraping the ketchup off with French fries. There was so much.
Yeah, they did have very talented flavor engineers there, and they do to this day. Like while you're eating it, your tongue tells you that what you're eating is good, and your stomach disagrees, and maybe your brain too. But they've got down like I assume it's what they do with like dry pet food or something too. Like they figure out like salmon taste, and then like eye drop it onto flavorless things of whatever's the cheapest. It's got to be the same technology.
Chinese food's the same way.
I love Chinese food.
Same.
We can talk about food all day, man. I love Chinese food.
Q&A when?
I mean, I guess the real question is like, when's the Joywave meal coming out?
For real.
The Joywave meal? Oh my god.
McJoy.
I don't
McJoy. Yeah.
I don't know, because I don't know that there'd be disagreement about what to include.
We
just early ketchup.
Make it a garbage plate.
Oh, okay,
also,
okay.
I mean, as much as I love McDonald's, it doesn't seem like a responsible thing to endorse as a human,
Well, definitely not, but it's still food.
I mean, I'm not going to draw the line at McDonald's. Like, it's a funny thing to endorse for sure. And by the way, whenever we're in Europe, because whenever I'm there and I tell people that I'm lactose intolerant, they're like, "What would you like me to do about it?" Or you ask them, like, "Oh, is there any milk in this?" They're like, "I don't know, just nobody cares," and they're already annoyed with me for being American. So in Europe, I absolutely order McDonald's for almost every meal, and I just go and I use the touch screen and I hit the little GB button with the English flag, and then I enter my order, and then I just stand around in France, and then I wait until they call a number that like I have no idea what they're saying, but no one else grabs the bag, and then I confidently walk up and take it, assuming it's mine. It's worked every time.
I think you're the first lactose intolerant person I know of that actually cares that they're lactose intolerant. Because every other lactose intolerant person I know is like, I shouldn't drink this, but I'm going to anyway.
Oh yeah,
I mean, are they
glass of milk from time to time? I should not be doing that. I will throw up, but I do it anyway.
And then you just throw up?
Yeah,
that's
I don't think I
terrible.
can live without milkshakes. I love milkshakes.
Yeah.
For real, Joey gets it.
See, Joey
Yeah, like if my doctor told me I could never have pizza again, I would probably just die eating pizza.
True.
All right, yeah, we probably should move on. The next question was actually mine. As important as this conversation obviously is, is there a chance that we'll have another event in the future that is kind of similar to the Joywave Life at the Planetarium?
That'd be cool.
I would say stay tuned.
All right.
Stay tuned.
Yeah.
I mean, well, I wouldn't say stay tuned because that sounds like
that sounds like it's in the works.
Yeah, it sounds like we know something. Like, I mean, I wouldn't rule it out for someday, but like not like so much time went into that. Like, I mean, months went into doing that single show. And the thing is like when we did that show, being able to bring video content into a concert for us seemed like this like far-fetched thing. Like we would never have the ability to do it or the budget to do it. And we were like, well, there's already a screen at the planetarium. Like, we could do something there and kind of make it an event. But now like there's video content as part of the tour. So it is still a cool, special thing, I guess. But like, our planetarium also seats 200 people, which like that doesn't work anymore. So I don't know, maybe someday, but not anything currently in the works. If there's another pandemic, sure.
I can also speak to some of the communication with that particular. It's like a science museum, so it's not like a performance venue. So it's, in order to make it happen, it requires some non-traditional things production-wise to even make it work. So we've definitely explored various unique venue ideas, and I think we're always going to be looking into unique stuff, especially hometown stuff, because I think we have more of a chance of making it happen there.
Yeah, I think the thing that you can't see when you're watching the planetarium video is like the quote unquote stage that we're on is basically like you and your friends on a diving board with all your instruments. It's like we barely fit, and it's like that was kind of the shape of it too. So it worked, but it was like, I mean, honestly, it worked better than it had any right to. And I think at the end of that, we were like, wow, I can't believe that that went fine. But it did.
So what's a genre that y'all don't normally do, but like you have a lot of adoration for, and it's something you would potentially explore?
Yeah.
Over.
I don't. Maybe like.
I'm trying to think what we haven't explored already.
Yeah,
I'd like to see you guys do black metal. That'd be cool.
Okay,
Yeah.
I don't like that though. I would say I think like maybe the closest thing I could say would be like soundtracks, maybe, like things that are, I mean, because like if you like we're like I as a writer am very like song focused, which like I'm sure you can hear when you're listening, like that, like there's like fun sounds and stuff, but like overall like the song is like its own piece that's like making a statement. So I guess like maybe something that was less like that, like I said, like a soundtrack or something where it's not where it's an accompaniment to something else instead of like, you know, being a standalone thing, I guess.
Right.
Joey, Paul, what do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, I like soundtrack. You know, like be super sick to do like a Bond theme or something.
Yeah, we've always talked about doing a Bond theme, like bucket list kind of thing.
Alrighty. Then the next question is again from me, back to the top. It's will we ever see? I think I might have added Dan on Twitter about this one time, but will we ever see any more remasters or repressings of any of the work from the Hoodies revised script?
I don't think so. The Hoodies stuff, like, there's definitely CDs that float around, and then there's a vinyl pressing of A Place on Solid Ground that I know there's still a few of. Vice Grip was the most insane group of unreliable, funny people, like, of all time, where, like, I have no idea what happened to anything.
Right. That means
there was a
permanently lost.
What was that?
That means the anthology is permanently lost.
The anthology is probably permanently lost.
It's probably on a
remember
computer
show.
tower that won't turn on somewhere.
Yeah, it's on a hard drive somewhere. I mean, one of the very first Vice Grip shows, one of the memories I have about it is that at the end of the night, someone, like, the venue gave the money to our bass player, and it was like $700. We were like, oh my God, this is the most money we've ever seen in our lives. Like, this is so incredible. We're like, we're going to buy beer with this and go back to, somebody's basement and hang out. And then the bass player who they'd given it to lost it.
Oh.
And he was unsure of what had happened to $700. And it turned out he'd given it to his mom and got it back. But, like, it was the kind of band where $700 could go missing for 24 hours and people would be like, of course that happened.
Yeah, I mean, I remember a little while back there was a bit of a, I don't know, I don't know if it was a rumor or what, but I remember we were having a conversation about, apparently there was like an anthology vinyl pressing.
There's not.
There's not? Okay. All right.
No. There's no.
Never happened.
So no, there's a Vice Grip album that came out in Japan that must exist somewhere. And there's a Hoodies album that came out in Japan that also must exist somewhere. But the Hoodies one is from 2005. Then there might be a Japanese pressing of A Place on Solid Ground. And then
but just
Vice Grip
compact disc.
one.
They never did vinyl.
Yeah. Sorry. Right. All of those are CD. There's no vinyl. And the only reason that there's the A Place on Solid Ground vinyl, we just did it because me, Joey, Paul, and Brandon, who was in the Hoodies with us, were like, we spent so much time on this band, like, we felt like that was some of our best work in that band, and that it should have a vinyl pressing. So we did that several years later.
So was the concept of cleansing oneself something that you knew you wanted to explore before going into making Cleanse, or did it develop after you had created some songs?
I think it was really early on. Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, because we had like been through a lot, and the forced time off and just the kind of disconnecting from the things that had come before it, like, felt like a nice idea given that we had so much time and we're in the middle of a pandemic. And one of my first jobs as a teenager was working at a car wash, and I loved the idea of, like, bringing it back there to, like, kind of the time in my life when me, Paul, and Joey became friends. And there's like an 80s sedan on the cover for the dashboard, which is like the same type of car that was my first car. So yeah, it was definitely early deciding that it was called Cleanse, and that there was going to be heavy car wash vibes.
I think in general, if I'll just add to that real quick, the songs always come first for the most part, even if they don't have like lyric content, right, Dan?
Yeah,
Like when we sat down to make Cleanse, before we knew it was called Cleanse, Dan had all these demos.
Right. So, and the lyrics might not be there from moment one. Sometimes they are, or sometimes all of them are there. Sometimes some of them are there. Sometimes none of them are there. But
A
yeah,
lot
I
of
mean,
times
we're
it's
generally
just
working off.
humming into his phone.
Right. It's just like mumbling and stuff.
Have you ever thought about releasing some of the unreleased tunes like Cortez and Pacific Theater, stuff like that?
Pacific Theater, holy hell! There's a deep cut.
Like onto streaming services, because I know that you've got the vinyl pressing with Cortez.
Right.
Was Pacific Theater even released?
I think it was on our MySpace page. Like, there's definitely an MP3 of it
I would
somewhere.
love to listen to that.
Are any of you guys on MySpace?
I mean, those are just like, there's a lot of songs from that time period, and a lot of them like I still really love, because I was just kind of like creating in a vacuum because there was nobody listening and nothing happening. And it's just like, Pacific Theater was like, well, what if we put one of these up? And Cortez was like, well, what if we take one of the songs from that time period and, hey, this one already has lyrics at least, and it's not just me humming. Maybe we include that one on the Coda Vista vinyl. So I could see maybe bringing some of that stuff out in the future, but I also don't think it'll be. Well, I also don't think it'll be very soon, because like we're still like very much like in the pushing forward time, where like I would like to shine a light backwards to that era, where like if you look in the I think in the original booklet for Coda Vista, it says Joywave will return in Big Lonely, which is what I had wanted to call the mythical full length that I never thought we'd be able to make. But by the time we got around to it, like with How Do You Feel Now, like Tongues was, people really liked Tongues, and just like I had continued to write, and there were so many songs to pick from. We ended up picking songs that were more contemporary to that time, like Parade and Destruction and songs like that. Whereas I think the stuff that came before that sounds more like Coda Vista and more like Cortez.
So you've got the tour with I Don't Know How coming up in a few, like few weeks, whatever. I think
about 3
weeks. Time. Yeah. Have you got are you thinking about plans on looking to do anything in other countries at any point at all, or was there anywhere you'd want to go to tour to if you could?
Australia.
No, we really just like America and Americans. No, I'm just kidding. I think we would like to come back to the UK. We would like to come back to France. We'd like to come back to Germany. Dublin would be amazing. We've only been there one time. Yeah, I mean, Ben, is there anything that you'd like to add to that question?
You can let a little secret loose, Dan. That's fine.
Okay.
What's coming next week?
Okay. Well, as long as you guys feel like acting surprised, okay. I think Monday we're announcing a UK and EU tour for November. So
I think actually it's Tuesday we're announcing.
Oh, Tuesday we're announcing. Okay. Well, you heard it here first. I can't believe you guys aren't coming to, I don't know, Copenhagen, because we're switching continents. So if y'all got to get on a train, I'm sorry. But this was like several years in the making, trying to make this happen. So yeah, it's like 2 weeks in first half of November.
I can say the specific. It's November 1st through November 14th. I can tip off some of the cities if you want.
Yeah, go for it.
I won't say venues, but yeah, it's Dublin, Glasgow, Manchester, London, Brighton, Cologne, Germany, Paris, Amsterdam,
Oh yeah.
Hamburg, and Berlin. So it's 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 shows.
Entire the Q&A chat along is like freaking out over this.
Yeah, everyone
Yeah.
nuts.
Done good.
Yeah, everyone who's listening to this in the middle of the night right now is stoked.
Yeah.
As someone currently living in Manchester, hell yeah.
Is Manchester on the list, Ben?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
it's I'll say it, I don't care. It's you guys can keep a secret. It's the Deaf Institute is where we're playing.
It's a very nice venue. I've done that before.
I
I think you'll like it.
Other than London, they're mostly smaller spots since we've never really headlined there other than London. So it won't be crazy production like the US tours, but it's definitely gonna be fucking cool and fun.
Yeah, we spent all the money that we spend on cars and video screens and car washes on plane tickets for this one. So
Next question is, how do you decide when an album is finished? Do you have a general idea about how long an album will be beforehand, or do you just kind of write until your brain says no more?
So I find it's generally about the time that I'm writing songs where I'm like, this is just the same version of song number 3 that I wrote, except not as good, or sometimes a little bit better. But I think it's when I start to like kind of loop around on things where like, yeah, these are kind of doing the same thing. None of us like long albums. Like growing up, like we enjoyed Weezer, and I remember every Weezer song was 10 songs. And I remember Paul very early on being like, why would an album ever have more than 10 songs? That's the perfect length. So I think we've always tried to stick to that. And then a few times, you know, in the catalog, you can see like, oh, they really felt like they couldn't cut one. And sometimes I felt like we couldn't. But on our live record, Live, we didn't cut anything. 79 minutes, I've heard.
I got really distracted. You guys said Weezer, and I just lost my mind. I have a Weezer cross in my room. It's like the most horrifying thing I've ever made, but not the point. What was a song you guys expected to be a hit, but it just didn't really land with the audience?
Have you heard a Joywave album? So I think I learned a really great lesson doing the hoodies and a really great lesson doing Vice Grip. And the lesson I learned doing the hoodies is that whatever you think people are going to like, they're not going to. So you should do what you like, because if you're trying to make something that people will like, you're going to fail. At least that's how it worked for me. And anytime with the hoodies, I was like, I'm going to write a song that like really connects with people, or like this song's going to get us signed, or anything. People are just like, yeah, sure, that one's fine.
So many, not to keep talking about the hoodies, but like, this is it. Like this is going to get us signed, you know, like this is going to be it. And every time it just, you know, fell under the radar, so to speak. And yeah, like exactly what Dan was just saying. The second we stopped trying to like fit a mold is when it actually worked.
Yeah, and so I mean, I don't think there's any Joywave song where like we wrote it and we were like, this is gonna be big, and then we were surprised when it wasn't. It was kind of more the other way, where like we were surprised when we signed our record deal and they were like, okay, we're gonna send this song to radio. We were like, for what? Because I don't think any of us had listened to the radio in like 15 years, and at the time, it was like all the like stomp, clap, hey, whistle songs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we were like,
I like to call it
is that?
Civil War rock.
So, yeah, it was, I see some people in the chat dropping Destruction. Yeah, Destruction is making fun of that. If you listen, there's stomps, claps, whistles, and hays, and a lot of other things. But, yeah, so we didn't think that like we were gonna, we didn't think that we were gonna get played on the radio. We didn't think that anything was gonna be a hit. So the fact that like anything connected at all was like surprising and exciting, just because we were just making what we wanted to make, because we had like already failed doing the hoodies.
Right. And that's just good advice in general.
Yeah, definitely.
I think so. Yeah, do what you like. Time's limited.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot more fun to make stuff you
I'm
like
going
instead of
to-
making stuff other people like, you know.
Exactly.
Amen.
Do what I like. I'm just gonna start illegally putting Joywave music onto the internet. 'Cause I
I'm gonna-
like doing that.
I'm gonna start illegally.
It makes me feel alive.
I'm gonna start illegally making Joywave cassettes because you guys haven't yet.
What's people's vibe on cassettes? Is that a thing that people are like very into?
Well, I mean, I
Me
think,
personally, yeah.
Like 3
I
people,
like
I
them.
think so.
yeah, I think,
I would
Yeah.
buy like 5 cassettes.
yeah, I
It's
think,
different
Yeah.
Cause-
just to like have the object. It's not for like listening. It's just like it's cool to look at.
yeah, like I think.
Have you
cassettes
seen
are-
vinyl though?
Yeah.
Like,
I think Quinn and I both have really complete Joywave vinyl collections. Like we're both only missing Black Ridge and Yellow Coda Vista, but that's besides
Yep.
the point. I think cassettes are making a resurgence, especially in
Wait,
DIY
wait,
scenes. But like,
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, we're gonna do a round of questions real quick where Joey asks a question, then Paul asks a question, then I ask a question, then Ben asks a question.
oh, we're gonna do that? Do we want to?
Yeah, reverse round.
Oh,
All right,
shit.
cool.
I'm down.
It's a
All right.
Q&A after all.
It is Q&A. You can ask us
Uh,
anything if you want.
Yeah. Joey, what do you got?
Start with Paul.
Favorite Lord of the Rings movie.
I don't like Lord of
Oh.
the Rings.
I
Me neither.
haven't
I've
seen
only
much.
seen two. But out
I
of
got
those two, I
halfway through
haven't-
the first one. and
I gotta go
I-
2
Hey.
hours.
I
Okay,
watched
next
Lord of the
question, I
Rings.
guess.
I watched
I'm
Lord
sorry,
of the
I'm
Rings
sorry,
and I
Paul. I
was like,
just
oh man, I'm gonna love
Two Towers
this.
was good though, but I think I preferred Fellowship.
Fellowship was great.
Looks
If
like
you
a
would
lot
like
of
Lord
people.
of the Rings.
Yeah.
in the chat.
And-
I get like
and I-
the
and I
into it and then
didn't.
fall asleep every fucking time.
Yeah, it's just like 4-hour long battle scenes of like things
Yeah.
that don't exist.
No.
you can get the same
Not
experience
all
if you listen to a
battle.
Led Zeppelin album. I promise.
I think what I'm gonna do is just wait for the Amazon show that's coming out, and I'll just watch that and accept that that's Lord of the Rings, and it's always been like that.
Well, that's the second age. So it's like this happens before all the movies.
There's multiple.
Yeah,
There's like
this is
Yeah,
what, like
there's
a,
like a
1,000 years
multiverse.
before like Bilbo and
Oh, this is like this is
Frodo?
like they're compressing it all down so like it's an actual TV show now because otherwise they wouldn't be able to film it. There's like there's too much in the books for them to like make it a story, so they had to compress it down. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be awesome.
you heard it.
Nerd.
All right.
cool.
I guess we'll take the next
I
question.
I asked the question. Yeah, I asked the question about cassette tapes. So we can Ben, do you have a question for the mods?
I mean, I
Ben
tend
moved-
to
oh, yeah.
I tend to chat with the staff in the Discord regularly about relevant Joywave topics, and you know, as a bit of a focus group for what do our fans actually like, what do they not like.
Well, why don't we just keep firing off more questions for us?
Yeah, let's do that.
Alrighty, I guess we'll get into our third rounds of questions for Joywave. I mean, I think Ben also talked about this like a while back in the old server, but how difficult is it to get repressings of older albums like Coda Vista and the 8's mixtape, and I believe 7's mixtape can't be pressed to vinyl since it's like the samples, but like I guess like that one still falls under the question.
Right, yes. The 77777 is highly illegal and will never be pressed on anything physical. The I guess 88888 could be, but like I don't know. That was kind of like something that we did while we were like again like waiting and like trying to get anybody to care about things. Like I think about the songs that already existed like as that came out, like maybe half of How Do You Feel Now existed in demo form like as we were making that 8888 mixtape. And then Tongues like just kind of went on it because I guess in the same way of I had said that like that's how virus.exe ended up on the Sevens mixtape. It's possible to repress Coda Vista. It's just like it takes so long, and like the startup cost is very large, and it takes a long time to like sell through based on the minimums. So like, I think that's like the first pressing of Coda Vista lasted us a whole bunch of years because nobody cared. And then, kind of went away all at once. And then the second pressing, I think, took us a few years to sell through. So maybe we'll eventually do another Coda Vista pressing. There won't be a Sevens one. I just kind of don't see the purpose in doing an eights one, I guess. Yeah, it always seemed like a little bit backwards to me too, because like those mixtapes are so like computer zone and like MP3 form. Like there's like no level of like fidelity to them. Like I did like hearing Coda Vista on vinyl just because like that one weirdly like brought a lot of the organic elements that like, and it brought some of the elements to life, I guess, which was cool. But yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's also the thing that comes up a lot. I feel like the request that I see a lot, at least in the Discord, is for a Swish vinyl release, which at some point in time we will do.
What did we decide about Destruction? Remember when we were at Tones, Dan? We were talking about like how many times Destruction has been put on an album.
Oh yeah, we were saying we should try to make it the most released song of all time.
Like technically speaking, like Destruction is on Spotify like 20 times at this point, right? Close to it.
Yeah, close to it.
Like
yeah, and now there's 2 more with the live recording. So there's a lot of Destructions out there. Maybe we should just do Swish 2.
Yeah, I would listen to Swish 2.
I would listen to Swish 2 as well. I mean, I always figured if you guys were gonna do like a proper Swish vinyl, it wouldn't be like a regular LP. It would be like a 7-inch with a Destruction on side A and then Life in a Bubble I Blue on side B, just to be like efficient with vinyl. But like a 12-inch Destruction would be cool, or a Swish as well would be cool.
Yeah, because then it goes right back into the next one.
Yeah.
So earlier you said that you don't like to make long albums. You like to try to stick to 10 songs. But how many songs usually get written for each album? And how do you decide which ones you want to put on that album or scrap or use for other projects?
It varies. Like, I think for Cleanse, there was really only like 10 songs that were, maybe 12 songs that were in the mix. I think it was 10 though. Like we pretty much knew like this is the album.
I remember Possession having a ton of songs written, and I remember being very upset when some of them got cut, and they're not, they still haven't seen the light of day, and it's upsetting. Breaks my heart.
Yeah, I mean,
someday we'll have to do like a B-sides album someday.
Yeah, you definitely should.
You totally should.
I think we will at some point, maybe. I mean, I don't know how. I would need to look and see how many things there actually are that exist. But generally, what I do is I try to like divorce like the lyric process from like the or like the idea process of like what like I'm like, oh, I have this to say and this to say and this to say, and then there's all these like musical nuggets or like demos kind of me mumbling. And I would say on any given record, like there's probably, with the exception of Cleanse, it's usually like maybe 15 to low 20s that are like in the mix, and then it gets whittled down, and maybe we'll track drums for 15 or 16. Then by the time we're done tracking drums, we're kind of like, maybe this one isn't, maybe this one doesn't need to be there. And we'll whittle down from that.
Yeah, some of the B-sides are my favorite songs.
Now we're just teasing everyone.
I know. If they existed, you mean?
Does that mean a Joywave B-sides album is in the works right now?
It's
no, it's definitely not.
It's really tough when the time comes, because like you're so used to like Dan was saying, like the, I don't know, between 10 and 15 songs, and then when it comes time to make that decision, I don't know. I always feel bad about it, but
it all depends on the mood of the album, and what like the album as a whole as an art piece and what it's supposed to say and what it's supposed to do. And usually we're able to do that in 10 to 11 songs.
Yeah, I think we had actually cut Fear at one point on Possession, and then it came back at like the 11th hour of like the song is too fun to not have, and we were like, this is gonna be awesome to play live, and it has been. So I'm glad we uncut that.
Which star would you choose to name in the new NASA Universe image, and what would you name it, and why?
Paul, what do you think?
Well, I was just thinking we're supposed to know the names of the stars in that photo.
You can name them. Just pick one.
Oh, you're saying just grab one and name it.
Yeah,
the one all the way to the left for sure.
Don't we have like a virus named after us, Dan?
Yes, I think it's a bacteria.
Bacteria?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
as far as a
very
star
cool.
goes, I don't know. What would we name a star?
Well, usually they have like a bunch of letters and numbers assigned to them. So just like Joywave dash and then 7 numbers and letters.
Joywave dash 77777.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. Maybe just like binary for destruction.
Sure.
Wait, sorry, did we skip over something there? You have a virus named after you?
A bacteria.
I think it's a bacteria. Someone would have to dig it up. I don't know how to find it, but someone who was like a graduate student somewhere near DC at one point came to the concert with this giant whiteboard, and they were like, as part of my like master's program, I like discovered this like bacteria or something, and I named it Joywave something or other, Joywavium or something like that. But oh yeah, okay. Someone found it and dropped it. It's a bacteriophage.
Oh, bacteria.
Yeah, it's kind of like a virus bacteria.
Oh, someone said bacteriophage is a virus.
Bacteria.
I don't know.
You guys are virologists. You're fine.
Yeah. we went to state school. We don't know how it works.
So we talked about like obviously the issues with like pressing the 7777 on everything. But if you didn't have any of the copyright issues or whatever, is there any sort of covers you would want to like perform or publish live, record things like that?
We did the whole album
yeah.
front to back in Rochester one night at the Bug Jar. We did 7777.
Really? Yeah, there was it was like a one night like front to back thing, and I have no idea what year. Probably 2011.
We opened with one at the planetarium, I think.
Yeah, we opened with Winnipeg at the planetarium. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah. Which was really cool because the like star machine. So like everything was dark, and then the giant like star machine in the middle of the planetarium came up, and we played that one. That was awesome.
Well, actually, I think going back to that question, I think it was asking more directly about covers from other bands and stuff that you'd also be interested in playing. Now that I'm reading the question back.
Oh sure. I think we all have varying thoughts on this. I don't like covers. I just kind of like don't think they're very fun generally. Like it's just I kind of feel the same way about remixes. Like it's like putting together a puzzle instead of drawing a picture, and like that's not fun. Like I would rather like all things be possible, and then it's like a blank canvas. And a cover is, the furthest thing from that. So yeah, I don't really like them. We've done a couple over the years. Like we did a cover of One Headlight by the Wallflowers at one point.
We did Freak on a Leash.
We did Freak on a Leash.
Oh
we
God.
did. Yeah, we did.
That.
It's really funny.
I think
it's on YouTube.
It might be on YouTube.
Honestly, if you haven't seen that is why we don't do covers anymore, because that one was so fucking good.
Can't top it.
For the person whose username is Coochie Mathers, the person who was Coochie Mathers in Vice Grip is the one who comes out and does the boomboxing part. We'll
Yeah,
call it
everyone needs to
Freak
watch
on a
that
Leash.
tonight. I mean, there are some.
All right, we've got some Joywave homework, guys.
I think
All right.
I think he's like doing the bridge of that song, and he's also like shoving a McChicken into his mouth at the same
Yep.
time.
He's eating a chicken sandwich, and pieces of chicken sandwich are flying everywhere as he's doing it. It's incredible.
So I think to answer the whole cover question is we only do it when we think it's like really funny, or I guess One Headlight wasn't funny. That's just a dope song, but
We did do that Spotify sessions, and there was a lot of people in the chat saying that they really liked that cover.
Yeah.
That's right.
It was a fun time.
Yeah, we did.
So can we expect a Wonderwall cover because it's a
Oh
meme?
my goodness.
Can we expect any Weezer covers?
We were thinking about doing that. If you guys ever heard of that "Running Up the Hill" song?
Yeah.
Stranger Things. Song.
Kate Bush.
I don't think anyone's covered that yet, so we're gonna jump on it.
Yeah, all right. Good call.
There's a video of the corn. There's a corn videos in the chat. Anyone wants to see it live?
Oh, jeez.
From
The
2014.
I'm gonna go
So
stop.
why do you not do covers anymore? Is because we already did that.
Okay. Well, yeah, we can move on. Are there any music video ideas that you guys really wanted to make a reality, but you didn't really get to? And if so, what were they?
Oh man, there's been so many.
Yeah. The most recent one that we really wanted to do was this video where I'll give you the elevator pitch. Basically, it's me sitting watching the Tongues music video on YouTube and obsessing over the comments and people saying, "Look at his butt, it's so tiny. Look how tiny his butt is. That's not a butt." And I'm just sitting, hitting refresh and obsessing. And then you see me make a phone call and book myself surgery to get a nice, big, beautiful butt installed. So I get a new ass, and people are like, "You look good." And I'm like, "I know, thank you." And basically me, Paul, and Joey like show up to practice, and they're admiring my butt. And Paul is like, "You know what? I've always been uncomfortable about my lips." And Paul gets lip injections. And basically, we just keep getting more and more plastic surgery and just convincing ourselves that we look better and better and better as we don't look better and better. I think we're going to try to do that for Sin City 2000. And then
That's a good one.
Please.
and then we couldn't do it.
Oh, I'm so glad I picked that question.
Holy shit, it's got 23 stars.
Everyone wants you to make it happen. Like, come on.
Yeah, the basically someone ran the numbers on the budget, and like there wasn't money left to rent a camera after we paid for all like the prosthetics for ourselves.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Just film on a phone. It'll be fine. No one
Yeah,
knows.
do what I do. Just film on a phone.
I do love prosthetics in general, though. Like when we did the "It's a Trip" video, like I sat for like 4 hours in that chair getting makeup, but it was so much fun the whole time. It's just really fun to have someone turn you into something different, I guess.
I guess we could try to get a budget approved just for a nice, juicy ass for me, and then Paul films it on his iPhone while the song plays, and then that's my butt now. The end.
Yeah, we could probably save a lot of money by just getting actual surgery done.
Right, exactly.
What are y'all's favorite songs from every album?
Whoa, that's a question.
I
One of
think I'm
the
on the
questions
record as
ever.
saying this other places, but I'm just like not a big favorites guy. Like I don't really have a favorite food or anything. It just depends on the day. Like
I have favorites.
Oh, okay.
Where do
Go
I
ahead,
start?
Paul.
My favorite on Possession is going to sound crazy, but it's Blank Slate.
It's
My
good.
favorite-
Why is that crazy?
I don't know, because it's not like a banger.
Oh, crazy.
My favorite on Content is Going to a Place. What other albums do we have?
That's it.
Yeah, those are
I
the only
think-
two albums.
Yeah.
Cleanse, my favorite on Cleanse, that's a tough one. I want to say Sin City, but it changes all the time. Like Dan said, like lately it's We Are All
Yeah.
We Need, but when we made the album, it was Sin City. My favorite on How Do You Feel Now? What was even on that? Somebody New? Yeah, Somebody New. Also, I love
say,
Ridge. I'm a huge fan of Ridge. Always have been. I think we should re-record it.
The synths in Ridge are incredible.
Yeah, the Ridge is probably like the best early Joywave song.
Absolutely.
Is Ridge even on Spotify?
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah.
it is. Ridge
Okay.
and the 77777 version of Traveling at the Speed of Light are both on Spotify, but everything else from that era isn't.
There is no Cortez or Pacific Theater.
Oh, Cortez was a sick one too.
I think today my favorites, How Do You Feel Now, would be Destruction. I think Content would be Content. I think on Possession.
Dan, someone in the chat is mentioning Indie Boy.
Oh yeah, that's a good
Oh,
one.
wow.
We were gonna talk about that a little bit earlier, but we kind of just slipped away.
Yeah, that was like the first song we released, I think, as Joywave.
Wow.
I think my favorite Possession song might be No Shoulder. And then on Cleanse, I think I have to stick with After Coffee because that's been my go-to lately. Yeah, we'll go
I
After
also
Coffee.
love that one too. Honestly, all my favorite songs are just the ones that I enjoy playing the drums to. So it's like a weird point of view.
Someone else in the chat is saying, if someone buys the Possession Tour inflatable record, will we make the Plastic Surgery Sin City 2K video happen?
Wow.
By like 70.
Yeah, we would need to sell a lot more than just one.
Okay,
I
just
don't know.
upcharge
I
it.
think we could almost do it. How much is it
I mean,
selling for?
plastic
20 grand?
surgery. You could get plastic surgery for 20 grand, right?
Yeah.
I feel like you could, yeah.
You get like entire body restructured for 20 grand.
Is that true? I always thought surgery was more expensive than that.
It probably isn't
Well,
true if you're doing the American way.
If you go to Miami or not, it depends where you go.
Right.
Yeah, we'll say, Paul. What's the Possession inflatable up for? 2 grand?
No,
20.
20
I think
grand,
it's 20
grand.
grand.
It costs us a lot more
sorry.
than 2 grand to make.
Yeah, sorry.
I think we
that's
started
what
it
I meant.
at 30K and then dropped it to 20.
It's on my eBay want
Yeah.
list. It's been there since like it
Okay.
dropped. So
Yeah, let's say that if someone buys it for 20 grand, we'll put that money towards the plastic surgery video. But we reserve the right to not make it for Sin City 2000. It could be for a different song. Okay.
all right.
I don't think people would
That's
care
fair.
about that just as long as
Yeah.
the video got made.
I mean, there's
Yeah,
there's like
yeah.
700 people in this server. I think if we all came together, we could afford it.
I hate to put a plastic surgery video onto you guys, but we'll
Alright,
get the
who's making the
notification when it's sold.
GoFundMe?
Can't you just like trick a rich person into buying it? That would be what I would try to do. Someone's got an uncle or something.
Last time I tried
And
talking to rich
somebody
people,
out
I
there.
got thrown out of the house.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so worth the money. It costs over 100 grand to have made. So
It'll be a great decoration at my next birthday party if I can find a rich person who will buy it for me.
Maybe if Dan would have signed my copy of Fight Club, I would have bought it.
Oh my God! Did you bring the copy of Fight Club?
Yeah, it was that guy.
I think your dad maybe talked
He
to me
did,
outside.
yeah.
Does that sound right?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. He was like I know it's a little there was like a Catcher in the Rye thing, I think, with yeah. I was like, I think you mentioned that to me. I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna sign that book.
Oh.
Yeah.
Reasonably so. But I didn't shoot you at the concert, so
Thank you so much.
yeah.
That means
Wasn't
that means a
Catcher
lot
in the
to
Rye
me.
situation.
I know I've asked a lot of questions about old stuff, but I got one more. Is there any reason for the 8th mixtape sounding so different or darker compared to the rest of the Joywave discography, especially around that time? Because there's a lot of almost more ominous sounding songs on 8s than there was on 7s or Coda Vista.
I mean, we were trying to there's a couple songs on there that sample other Joywave songs. There's probably on that mixtape, Sean, our old bass player, produced probably or did the tracks for probably half of it, and we were doing it remote, where he was doing a bunch of stuff. He had moved to Austin, and then would send me things to sing over. It was really it's such a weird one because it's just such an exercise in like it's kind of this like loosely knit together spy story. Like the mixtapes are really like impersonal, I guess. Like compared to like the mainline records are all like these are my feelings and and expressing them, and then those are like novels or something. And then obviously on Sevens it's like kind of like a space odyssey kind of thing. So just kind of an exercise in like having just like making something in the moment, and also like I think we put in like 1/10 of the time into either one of those mixtapes versus like a record. Like we were definitely just like, okay, well, nobody cares, so let's let's do some stuff. We have some time and see what happens.
Yeah. I mean, I can't deny that dying well makes me feel like I could actually kill a man. So, I mean, you guys put enough love into it, so.
We tried playing that live once, I think.
You guys should try it again.
We did.
That song is actually really cool. Talk about Bond
like
themes.
For real,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
I love that song. It's gotta be one of my favorites from the 8's era, so.
All right. Well, next question. Are there any songs that you regret releasing or putting on an album?
No regrets.
Yeah, certainly no regrets. I would say no. I feel like maybe like "Carry Me" doesn't need to be on "How Do You Feel Now." Like that was not supposed to be on there, and then we had like newly signed to our label, and it was a demo version of that should be on there. I'm just like randomly looking at like play counts of songs because Spotify open. It looks like the facts bear me out on that.
We used to play "Carry Me" live in the early days.
Yeah, I mean, I like the song. I just feel like it like maybe doesn't make sense with the rest of the record. But I guess that record's whole like thing is that it's like all over the place and a lot of feelings and sounds happening. I think maybe that might be it. Like "Rumors" was a late inclusion on "Content," where I thought like I wanted people to hear it and I wanted it to come out, but I think I wanted it to be separate from "Content." Like I didn't feel like it really matched the mood of the rest of "Content," but it was a similar kind of thing where there was like a demo of it and people felt good about it, and then and I think that was the last time that anyone tried to like be like, you guys should, this demo is really good, you should make sure that gets in there. I think from that point on we were kind of like, thank you for your feedback, because everything on Possession was meant to be there like from the start, and certainly everything on Cleanse was.
I just remembered what the next question was. So have you ever heard of Among Us?
Oh my god.
Goodness.
Like the
Yeah,
game?
I played when Among Us first came out. I played it for a few weeks, but like most mobile games, I just kind of move on eventually.
Are you guys ready for an Among Us games night?
I haven't played in a long time. It was a lot of fun. I actually played one day, and I found you ever like settle into a complete group of strangers in a video game and just like end up playing with that group for like hours.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That happened to me in Among Us for like 5 hours one day, like on a Sunday, and everyone in the group, like towards the end of it, someone typed like, "Yo, I want to know all of you like IRL," and everyone was like, "Yo, same," because we were all just having like the best time. And I think there's something special about video games in that sense. When you can, because most of it's just like a bunch of 14-year-olds like screaming profanity, But every now and then you stumble upon some really cool people, and it's fun. Among Us is actually a lot of fun. Just bringing it up makes me want to start playing again.
I mean, after the Q&A.
Well, I mean, speaking
after the Q&A is Fortnite.
Speaking of
the after party.
The after party.
I mean, leaning off of that, Paul, when are you gonna like Twitch stream more, or like stream in the server, something like that?
Yeah, man, I gave it the old college try. I really did. I just don't think it's for me. It's not that it wasn't fun. It's just that and like I probably should do it occasionally more often, but for the most part, video games are like a very introverted hobby of mine. I don't play many online games aside from Fortnite, Among Us, and I was big into GTA 5 for a long, long time. Other than that, like when I put on a video game, it's kind of like opening up a good book, it's like me time. And it's not that I didn't enjoy streaming, but it's just really not for me, I guess.
All right. I mean, kind of.
Quinn, did you say you had told me the other day that like did a lot of you guys actually tune into that and watch it?
Yeah, a lot of people like really enjoyed it. A lot of good memes came out of it.
Yeah, I had like almost 30 followers, watching me at one point. It was like a good crowd. I probably should do it again. I just got a PS5, so it's probably way easier with a PS5.
Yeah, I mean, following up on that question, you could also just make it like a little bit more of a every once in a while if you feel like it. I think there is an option like you could like stream through Discord. So if you wanted to like chat with us while you were streaming at some point, you totally could.
Right, absolutely, yeah. And I mean, the PS4 that I was doing it on, it would crash, every like 5 minutes because like it couldn't handle it.
But yeah, sorry about that.
Because I was, I don't have like a gaming PC setup, so I was just doing it. I was doing it like a noob through PS4, with like the PlayStation camera. I would assume that PS5 is better at it than the PS4 was. I mean, also my PS4 sounded like a jet engine,
Right. But yeah, sorry, we just kind of got off on a small tangent there. We can go back to our
yeah.
questions.
Someone wrote "Better Call Paul" in the chat.
Oh yeah.
Better.
If you could play at any venue in the world, no restrictions, what venue would you?
Stonehenge.
I mean, we did say no restrictions, so I guess that would count.
Okay.
The moon.
Oh, that's not in the world.
It's not on the world, idiot.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's fair.
Moron.
Fair. I didn't listen well enough. It's fair.
Yeah, Stonehenge is cool. Sounds good. Joey, how about you?
I mean, I can't top Stonehenge.
Well, there's like
Easter Island heads would be pretty good.
There's like the Parthenon.
Boy, I fool.
Oh, dude, the Coliseum. Yeah,
Coliseum.
Didn't
Pink Floyd play the Coliseum?
No, they played Pompeii.
Oh, cool.
Play Mount Vesuvius.
I would play in Dan Smith's living room while he was trying to sleep. That's my number one venue.
Yeah, that would be a sick venue.
Yeah, every.
If I were you guys, I'd play at Sammy's house.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're welcome to play in my lounge room. Come
All
to
right, I'm
Australia.
gonna play like my absolute.
Yo,
worst
I would
songs
love.
in your house.
Apparently, touring in Australia is like kind of a nightmare, but I would love to do it.
I mean, it's
It is
pretty
Australia.
cool.
Well, I've just heard like road stories about how like because every city is so far away.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. So like what they have to do is get like semi trucks for the gear and then fly the band members. It's like a whole process, but I would love to do it.
Well, this is kind of similar to a previous question we had, but it's different. And it's which songs do you guys enjoy playing live the most individually?
Dude, honestly, like After Coffee, this whole tour, every time we played After Coffee, made me feel like I was playing for the first time again. It was awesome. I love playing that song.
I agree. That was my pick too.
I think After Coffee is a lot of fun to play. Is it my favorite? Close.
However,
I'd say top 3 easily. I don't know. I used to love playing Content. I also
we were talking about that
I love
the other
playing
day.
Doubt live a lot too.
I kind of want to bring Content back at some point, but it's weird to play Content if you're opening because people get scared. But I feel like I don't know. Maybe that'd be a cool one to bring back for Europe or something. We'll see.
The next question is also another tour-related one. It's how do you all decide the uniforms for every tour?
I don't know. It's not like it's not as like deliberate, I think, as it seems. Maybe it's just like it's something that we started doing because it was like a way to have like some level of production, like to put some thought into that, like especially like what we wore on the Bastille tour when we were opening for them, like we, you know, they have like a giant production. They can't have us like putting car wash stuff on the stage. So the thing we could control was what we were wearing. And then for the Cleanse tour, it was, you know, it added depth to the like car wash that you were seeing on stage. I think we'll probably have something like that for this tour for Europe. So it's not something that we like have to do, or we're like, but the outfits. It's just something that like makes sense sometimes, and sometimes it doesn't.
Finally, I am asking about something new. How will the new Best Friends music differ from the 30% off EP? I know that you said that you were, starting to write some lyrics for it, Dan, and I mean, obviously, it's still relatively early, so you might not, have a concrete answer, but if you do have something, I mean, it would be nice to know.
Inflation has taken its toll on Best Friends. There will be no more discounts. Everything will be 30%. Everything will be 30% over asking price on the new Best Friends music.
Not again.
We'll have. I don't know. I don't know when people will hear it. We're still working on some stuff. Yeah, I mean, obviously, like the Joywave stuff takes up like almost to all of my time, and Jason has a very busy like production and writing career. So,
right.
But at some point, I think we'll have some new stuff to hear.
Alrighty. So the next question is, if you were to release a Footnote 0 album, what would be on it? Also, as a sub question, is Live going to be Footnote 4.5?
We talked about that.
Yeah, I think we settled on Live being like a character instead of a number.
We talked about doing 4.5. We did, but we decided because it's a live album,
it's just an asterisk. It's music from all the eras.
It's the greatest hit.
Yeah. And then if there was a Footnote 0, I think it would be songs from before How Do You Feel Now that we, had at one point intended to follow Coda Vista or maybe be around Coda Vista times and weren't released just because there were so many songs. And like I said, with How Do You Feel Now, it ended up being a lot of contemporary things because why not? Like that's what we were excited about in the moment.
What was your reaction to when your song was used in the Fortnight trailer? Also, did they approach you for the rights, or was it used without permission?
Yeah, they got an early version of Blast Off, and they obviously used.
Dan,
what did you say, Ben?
I think he's talking about Destruction, right?
Well, both, but...
or Sin City.
Ooh.
Oh, sure.
Sin City's on the radio in the cars currently.
Oh, right now?
Yeah, if you put on Rock and Royale and you're playing Fortnite and you're in a car, Sin City may come on.
Is it kind of weird if that happens when you're playing?
It's happened to me like 4
awesome.
times, and it's awesome every time. I end up just like driving around in a circle while it's playing. I don't know. It's still special after all these years to hear any of our music and stuff. Like, it reminds me of like that movie, That Thing You Do, when they're like running down Main Street to find like the radio store so they can hear their band on the radio. And they're all like excited and they run in. It's like that, but in 2022. I hear myself on Fortnite and I get stoked.
Well, one of the guys, I don't know how like common knowledge this story is, but one of the guys who like made Fortnite, his name's Donald Mustard. He's one of the like head guys at Epic Games. He came to a concert. I mean, we just got like a random request that was like, hey, this game is called Fortnite. It's coming out and they want to use Destruction in the trailer. And we were like, okay, that seems fine. I was like, I've been making Fortnite for years and I wasn't sure what the game should look like. And then I heard Dangerous for the first time. And he's like, and I wanted it to be like that, where it was like kind of dark, but like kind of in this fun package. He's like, and then from that point on, I just made the game look like the song sounded. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. And he was like, yeah. So then when it came time to make a trailer, I was like, I have to have a Joywave song. So they like requested Destruction. And obviously it was great for the song and opened up the band to a whole new audience. And then they asked to use Blast Off. They'd heard like an early version of it, so I think it was the season 5 trailer So we ended up having to. That's actually why there's two versions of Blast Off. Is the finished version is on Possession, and then like the halfway version exists as that single release from 2018 because we had to put the song out because Fortnite, was using it.
I got into you guys because of Fortnite, so
Yeah,
nice.
I love that so much when I see that in comments and stuff on YouTube, and it's just like I'm here because of Fortnite, or some people are like I'm here because of FIFA, or what are some of the others like Madden? I don't know, or no Need for Speed. That was it. It's so cool because like I grew up playing video games, and like the Tony Hawk soundtracks. It's like you discover music through games, and to be a part of that is something special.
All right. So this next question was Aces. What would you say is your most personal song?
That's obviously, directed at Ben.
yeah. I think probably Let's Talk About Feelings. It's like one of the rare like love songs in the catalog, and it just is exactly that. So it's like pretty vulnerable.
Obviously, I can't speak to anything like lyrical because Dan writes all the lyrics, but I'm gonna bring it back.
Like a Kennedy guitar solo.
Oh hell yeah! Or I'm just gonna bring it back to After Coffee because it's the most recent one. I just something about it. Every time we play it, I'd probably go that one.
I'll agree with that one because I have always struggled as a drummer with the 6/8 vibe, and I felt very accomplished. I remember years ago we covered Everybody Wants to Rule the World at the Bug Jar, and I like messed it up because I just had the hardest time playing in that 6/8 feel, that like triplet feel, and
Yeah, I think people were talking about that like a week or two ago. We were talking about the cover, not you messing up, but
I don't think there's any footage of me actually messing up. It was like just an embarrassing flub of a fill. It was like a triplet fill back into the verse, and it just drummer stuff. But playing drums is a lot like a puzzle. You just gotta like conquer it.
I hate puzzles.
And I love them.
Each Joywave release has a distinct color palette and feel to the cover art. After seeing all of the different photos in the vinyl pressing for Cleanse, what made you decide to go with the like hot magenta color, and how do you choose cover art in general?
We had so many photos to choose from for that cover.
Yeah.
More than any other album, because it was our buddy Maddie going through car washes, like hundreds of times.
Yeah, he's for people who don't know who he is, he's Billie Eilish's photographer. He's been a tour photographer for a really long time, but he likes the band, and he's someone we've known for a while. And when we knew that we wanted to do something with car wash, we talked to him, and he was like, yeah, and just sent us this folder of like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of images of going through a car wash. So we kind of zeroed in on the ones that felt right to us. But I mean, obviously it's just like, I guess that art is like more open to interpretation than a lot of our art is. It's just, I think it just felt right to us color wise. And I wanted everyone to run out of magenta ink on Earth.
For anyone who was able to pick up one of the posters on our Cleanse tour, that's like a tiny fraction of an example of how many different photos we had.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
I mean, obviously the insert sleeve on the web store and black presses of Cleanse with all the other photos. It was like, I don't remember. I think it was a while back. I think I might have added Dan on Twitter about this, but I remember hearing something about like originally you guys wanted to do like an art booklet with the Blood Records version of Cleanse, and that just fell through.
Yeah, it just kind of didn't happen. I think production timelines and supply chain stuff, and it was hard to even get the pop-up vinyl like produced, and we're glad we were able to do that. But yeah, that was one of the things that kind of went away, and we were like, okay, it would have been very cool.
Well, hey, Cleanse 10th anniversary is only 10 years away.
Yeah, that's right.
For the final question, this one is also kind of tour oriented. How exactly did y'all get like the idea for the Helvetica tour, and like where did that come from? Like, did you guys get in contact with I don't know how, and like, what's the whole story behind that?
Like as far as the tour name, or just like doing the tour at all, or what?
Doing it at all.
I don't know. Ben, do you know the answer to that?
I think it started because we were thinking about doing something after our headline tour, pairing up with another bands. We haven't done that much. We did it with Sir Sly in 2018, but it was kind of challenging, as you guys can probably all imagine, to think of like, okay, who's like an equal sized band, and what would make sense to pair up. And I think as you get further on in your career, it's harder to do that, because it's like there really weren't any great ideas, or I wouldn't say great, but there weren't a ton of like amazing ideas, and we were kind of struggling with it. And then it just so happened that they were looking to do something at the same time, and they were looking to pair up in a co-headline capacity. And I think, actually, if you guys remember, some of the Discord crew, like I had gone in there and it was like, hey, who should we tour with? And like part of the reason why I was asking that was because I was kind of curious, like who else you guys listen to that's not, that's on a similar size career wise. And I think someone said, I don't know how. We asked our merch seller from the Cleanse tour, and I was like, who, what shirts are people wearing, just to like try to get a gauge on, like, because it seemed to me like our perception of the Joywave fans in general is that, like, I think the fans like a lot of shit, and I think the Joywave fans are really, are like fans of a lot of different types of just good shit, and I think it's like, it's interesting. So, but I think we found that, like, I don't know how came up a few times, and it just made sense logistically and timing wise. But Dan, you should speak to like the tour name, obviously.
Yeah. Well, I think too, like that, Ben's right. Like that is always a hard thing for us. Like we've always kind of felt like we don't fit anywhere, and that's kind of by design, just because like we're not trying to fit anywhere. We're just doing what we do, and that's the entire ethos of the band from day one, coming from the hoodies, being like, we already failed, so let's just do whatever we want whenever we want to do it. And then, we ended up through, I think accident, just like some songs getting on the radio and getting some traction. So I think there were times where we'd show up at like a radio festival and just be like, what is happening here? Why are we here? And I think occasionally, in a tour situation, we can end up in that kind of situation again, or as far as like bands that are looking to tour with us. And it did seem like, it did seem like, I don't know how, like similarly existed like outside of the box, and the timing worked really well. And I didn't know a lot about the band, honestly, but I had seen, I think, basically like Ben said, people wearing their shirts at our concerts, and kind of thinking, oh, I guess some of our fans are also fans of this band, whereas like I don't see Lumineers t-shirts at our concerts very often. So and then the tour name came about because I was texting with Dallin, their singer, and we were talking about things we had in common, and their generally their name is presented in Helvetica, as is ours, and we thought it would be silly to have a disagreement over it and then name it the Welcome to Helvetica tour.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great pun, so.
Thanks.
Someone wants Paul to say monkey.
Monkey.